Continuing our series of the best player of each round of Triple Triad tournaments, we have the god of round 3-4. What's that? What is this nonsense? This is the messy one. So defining round 3 and 4 for you, this one's trickier. Rounds 3 and 4 don't always exist, because I do think if round 3 is the quarterfinals, it's far enough I should count it as the quarterfinals. So they are the third and fourth rounds, only if those rounds are not icon rounds. So in the later years, when we have 5-round tournaments or shorter, right, round 3 is going to be the quarterfinals or maybe even the semifinals. And I will count them as icon rounds, not as rounds 3 or 4. So if you're someone like Akiyama, who came late and has been really dominant late, he's played a lot of tournaments, but they've all been shorter tournaments, I don't think he's played a single round 3 or 4, right, despite being an incredibly dominant player. On the other hand, if you're like Dream Virus, someone we've already seen place really high in one of these lists, basically every tournament you played was a 7-rounder. There's someone else like that who's not Dream Virus. I always confuse their records, who made a ton of round 4s, but let's say Dream Virus. And so you might have played a ton of rounds 3 and 4 because every tournament you were in, there is both round 3 and 4, the quarterfinals or round 5. I decided to combine them because it was such a weird grouping. That I thought this made sense as a combined group. In a 6-round tournament, there's a round 3. In a 7-round tournament, there's both round 3 and round 4. So round 4s only exist in 7-round tournaments, which is why I didn't want to include it on its own, and this felt sensible to me as the one to include. This is a weird grouping, but if this means anything, I think what it is the players who performed really well when closing in on an icon, right? When that icon was within reach, who was good at converting and getting that icon. And can we go to the next slide? So, per usual, who won the most and who was undefeated? Bryce, weirdly, won more round 3s and 4s than previous rounds. I did too. This is possible because she was in 7-rounders. So every tournament she played, she won her round 2, and then she won both her round 3 and her round 4, so it was more round 3-4 wins than round 2 wins. She is also 100% through every round yet, as is Doc Evil and Karmazin. These are the only 3 players that have not been defeated in a single round we've mentioned. Other players specifically undefeated in these rounds, though they have been defeated in other rounds. We have Soaps, we have Spike Spiegel, though I think once I update him, he will gain losses here. Though he will gain some things that help his overall resume. Didn't know he went by some names I've now learned about. Waltz, Lionheart, Ore, Sephiroth, and Sphere. Similar to last time, there is a player who is undefeated through this number of games, through some number of games we will not list yet, but their sample is large enough that we will get them in our top 5 or in our honorable mentions list. Kana's got the most round 3 and 4 wins with 17 total, Koner. Seto's got 14, and I have the third most here, which is almost double my round 2 count, and Delial is also in double digits. So those are the players with the most wins, pushing them into the quarterfinal rounds. But who is the best overall? Honorable mentions. Focus, Homer, Kazdan, Omega Weapon all went 3 and 1. Chickeny and Sir Smokes have gone 5 and 2. Jaws went 5 and 1, which really feels like a win record good enough here to get in. Sujiro went 8-3. There is the question, what's better, 5 and 1 or 8-3? It's definitely 5 and 1, right? Because he'd have to go 3 and 2 to match, and at that point 3 and 2 is pretty likely. Nightwish went 9 and 3. That's pretty close in my eyes to 5 and 1. Maybe I still lean 5 and 1. And it was Tezuka at 8 and 2 that almost made the top 5. And he was really good in 2006, and that included a lot of winning both round 3 and round 4, as he was making a bunch of semifinals. So here's our top 5 for rounds 3 and 4. We have Seto, 14 and 4 at 78%. Is that better than 8 and 2? Yeah, Tezuka would need 6 and 2. That's hard, clearly. Like, I know he's on pace to do better, but again, you have to earn it, and 6 and 2 would be like adding a career better than Chickeny or Sir Smokes. That seems really hard to me. Jaws was 5 and 1. He'd need to go 9 and 3. That seems a big ask as well. That's just adding Nightwish, just assuming he performs at least as well as Nightwish. So, okay. Can't give him credit for what he hasn't done. I think Seto's 14 and 4 does deserve 5th. MC I have at 9 and 2. He'd need 5 and 2 to match Seto. You could probably go either way on that. 5 and 2, as we saw, was like as good as Chickeny here. So maybe we should give Seto a little more credit than MC here. It's close. I think Kefka is our leader for most wins without a defeat in this round. Kefka is one of the best players to never win a tournament. 6-0 is very good. And then Koner at 17 and 3. Yeah, that seems excellent. Who's our winner? Oh, it's me. Boring. Okay, yeah. I forgot I was going to win this one. I think this is the only one I win, so you don't have to worry about me showing up too much more. But apparently, I'm really good in these rounds. Big whoop. Let's move on to the next one. Quarterfinals. We're an icon land, so I'm going to do quarterfinals this video, semifinals, and finals the next one. Who is the god of the quarterfinals? So far, we have Gambit or Piggyman, maybe Dream Virus for the first round 1. For round 2, we have Bren. For round 3, we have Was Up. And who will we have for the quarterfinals? We're going to get no repeats through the whole list, which I think is fun. The only player never to be defeated is now just Doc Evil. Both Bryce and Karmazin now take a defeat. So Doc Evil is the only player never to be defeated in any round and has also never been defeated in the quarterfinals. Players who are undefeated in the quarterfinals but have been defeated in other rounds we've looked at are Aurora, Broccoli, Meta, Ulti, and Waltz. And maybe someone else we haven't mentioned yet will be in our honorable mentions or in our top 5. Yojimbo is the only player with double-digit quarterfinal wins. He's followed by Seto and Was Up, Koner, and Delial and Sir Smokes. So, honorable mentions. Jaws and Jadot have 3 and 1. 3 and 1 in the quarterfinals is obviously just excellent, right? It means, 3/4 of the time you're in the quarters, you're making the semis. That's putting you in serious contention to win events. Akiyama and Slash are 4 and 1. And Akiyama may have improved to 5 and 1 by the time this video comes out. Again, I forgot to erase the next, so let's skip the rest of the slide and get to the top 5. We have the Polish brothers, both 6 and 2. I thought it was funny that they tied here. Then we have Vid and potentially Akiyama if he wins his semifinals in Triad Wars 14. That may have happened by the time this comes out, so adjust accordingly. If he loses there, then he has disgraced his name eternally and will not be on this list. If he wins there... No, he already won his quarterfinals. That's already happened. Yeah, his semifinals are coming. He won the quarterfinals. So he's not disgraced his name. He is tied with Vid for 4th, ahead of the Polish brothers. 2nd and 3rd, we have Seto and Was Up at 9 and 2. And our all-time winner of the quarterfinals, or God of the Quarters, is Great Sephiroth, 6 and 0, 100%. How could I not pick it, It's hard to never lose in the quarterfinals. Like, you face pretty tough opponents there. And alright, shame I screwed up another of these videos by not checking the presentation before starting the video and spoiling the results, but okay. That's our God of the quarterfinals. Our winners so far are Gambit, Bren, Was Up, Great Sephiroth, 2 to go. They're big uns.